Welcome to the Galactic Archives, home of any and all information you may want or need. Today our story is about one of the strangest Sith Lords, the Lord of Hunger, also known as Darth Nihilus, the only Force threat besides Aboleth that could destroy the entire galaxy. Darth Nihilus was one of 3 Sith during the time following Revan's reign. His master, Darth Traya, also known earlier and later as Kreia, and the fellow apprentice, Darth Sion. He became a Sith following the destruction of Malachor V when the Republic activated a mass shadow generator. During the brief period of time where he was grieving the loss of his family, he was overwhelmed by an illness caused by the mass shadows. While ill, his emotional pain was replaced by a great hunger, at which point he devoured another survivor of the destruction. Over time, he slowly devoured all the other survivors he could, but with each survivor he devoured, the hunger returned faster and stronger. After multiple years, he was found by Darth Traya, who had sensed a wound in the Force and went to seek him out. When she found him, she took him to the academy she had started and led, Traya's Academy, named after her. There he would learn how to devour entire planets, though he only did this a couple of times, and would learn the ways of the dark side alongside Darth Sion. After about 5 years, Darth Sion and Darth Nihilus would team up against Darth Traya, defeating her and separating her from the Force entirely. It was at this point that Sion and Nihilus would go different ways as they sought to destroy the Jedi, but they went about it completely different ways. They completely annihilated the Jedi, and the only survivors went into hiding. After the Jedi were removed from power, Sion and Nihilus would rebuild the Sith Order, and during this time, Nihilus would start to fall apart physically, and he would use the Force to hold together his mask, robes, and armor, giving him a limited physical form. Meanwhile, his actual body would just vanish, leaving a simple primitive desire to feed within the mask. In about 3952 BBY, what remained of the Jedi Order convened on Qatar, a mid-rim planet, and this gathering was used as a ploy to draw Nihilus in. But as he approached, Nihilus spoke and overtook the entire planet with his hunger, devouring all but one of the inhabitants, Visas Mar. Mar would become Nihilus' second-in-command, and the two became scourges across the galaxy. In 3951 BBY, Nihilus went to help Onderon break away from the Galactic Republic so that he could have a Sith staging ground there. His plans were ultimately foiled when one of the surviving Jedi Masters, who was the one that called for the meeting on Qatar and then managed to escape, Atris, sent a Jedi exile, Mitra Surik, back to the Republic as bait for Nihilus. And with a couple unlucky turns for Nihilus, Surik became the apprentice of Kreia, the late Darth Traya, and would later defeat Visas Mar, who would then turn against Nihilus. Surik then helped the Royalists of Onderon defeat the Separatists, supported by Nihilus, and pushed the Sith out of Onderon. Nihilus, in his eternal hunger, traveled to Talos IV and intended to devour the entire planet due to the Jedi Academy located there, despite their lack of Force sensitivity, but he was overwhelmed by Mandalorians, Republic forces, and the return of the Jedi Order. He was then killed in the battle between him and the Mandalore, the leader of the Mandalorians, Visas Mar, and Mitra Surik. Following the battle, Mar removed Nihilus' mask, wishing to see the face of the man who caused so much pain, and a massive wave of darkside energy would sweep the bridge of Nihilus' flagship where they had fought. After this massive loss, Nihilus' spirit was taken by the remaining Sith to Moraband, or Korriban, depending on who you talk to, the Sith homeworld, where he remains to this day. Now, Nihilus, there isn't really a good alternative from Legends to canon to talk about. Darth Bane, who we see in the Star Wars The Clone Wars episodes, is the founder of the Rule of Two, whether you go to canon or Legends. So there currently isn't a canon version of Nihilus, though it would be pretty cool to see the Lord of Hunger return, because the amount of destruction and damage he caused throughout the galaxy was enough to just annihilate the galaxy, essentially, and the only reason he wasn't able to was because he was stopped on Talos IV. Please let me know in the comments what you think will happen in canon between Luke and Ezra now that Ezra is back. And if you have any ideas on what will happen to Ahsoka and Sabine since they're stuck on Peridia. And if you have any corrections or concerns about the Legends information that I presented, please let me know. Please return anytime for another delve into the archives. It's always a pleasure to share our knowledge with you.